Hello, my name is Noah, and this is Like You, a mindfulness podcast for kids. On this podcast, we spend time thinking about ourselves, our feelings, our loved ones, and the whole wide world. This podcast wouldn't be possible without our listeners. So grown-ups, visit patreon.com/LikeYouPodcast to help us continue making weekly episodes. Today, we'll be talking about why this podcast is called Like You. If there are grown-ups listening along, you've picked a great episode to get an overview of what this podcast is all about. Find a place to listen where you feel comfortable and safe. Sometimes we close our eyes and use our imagination, and other times I may ask you to say something out loud. If you're in a quiet place, or if you just feel like being quiet, you can say those things in your head instead of saying them out loud. That's up to you. At the beginning of each podcast, I like to take a moment to clear our heads and focus. So let's do that now. First, close your eyes. Now, take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, and out. 1, 2, 3. Now, I want you to think about your favorite thing in the world. It could be a person, or an activity, or it might be a toy, a book, or a type of food. Whatever you think of first when you think about your favorite thing is okay. So, are you picturing your favorite thing? Now, I want you to take another deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, and out. 1, 2, 3. Keep picturing your favorite thing while you take another deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, and out. 1, 2, 3. There's something I want you to learn to like better than anything else in the world, and it's you. So when I count to 3, together we're going to say, I like me. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I like me. All right, now let's get started. You can keep your eyes closed if you want to, or you can open them now. It's up to you. Like I said earlier, today we'll be talking about why this podcast is called Like You. Do you have any guesses? Feel free to say your guess out loud or in your head. Well, like you is just 2 simple words, but to me, it means lots of different things. In fact, there are 4 meanings for like you that I thought about when I was creating this podcast, and I'll tell you about them now. First of all, these 2 words can be a sentence all by themselves. Like you. In other words, like yourself. I want you to like who you are. So that's why sometimes we spend time thinking about ourselves on this podcast. And it's why we use something called affirmations, which we'll do again later in this episode. I know that you can like yourself just as you are. In fact, right now, I want you to think about one thing you like about yourself. Maybe it's something you're good at, like drawing, or playing, dancing, or singing. Maybe you really like the color of your eyes, or the color of your hair, or the way you dress. Maybe you like how kind you are to other people, or how funny you are and how much you make people laugh. Whatever it is, think about something that you like about yourself and then tell me what it is. I'm listening. Now, the second meaning of like you is that I like you. Yes, you. I like you just the way you are. I think you are unique and interesting, and there's no one else in the world exactly like you, which is pretty cool. You're learning and growing every day, and I'm proud of who you are becoming. Take a short moment to notice how it feels to know that someone likes you. When I say, I like you, how does that make you feel? It probably feels pretty good, doesn't it? You can give other people that same good feeling by letting them know that you like them just the way they are. So think of a friend or a family member who is special to you. Next time you see them, tell them how much you like them. The third thing I mean by like you is that I was once like you. In fact, every grown-up you know was once a kid like you. That means that the grown-ups in your life who love you and care for you can remember what it was like being a child. I remember being a kid like you. That's why I know we'll be great friends. It may feel like the grown-ups you know have always been grown-ups, but they used to be kids like you. And one day, you will be a grown-up like them. What do you think you'll look like when you're grown? Take the next few moments to silently imagine what you will look like when you're all grown up. The fourth and final meaning of like you is that other kids are like you. The feelings that you feel and the questions that you have, there are other kids all around the world who have those same feelings and those same questions. You are not alone. And the things that make you feel frustrated, all the hard things you have to learn to do, there are other kids around the world going through those same experiences as well. You're never the only person who feels the way you feel, and you're never alone in your feelings. That's why it can feel so good to tell other people how you feel. Right now, I'm feeling excited. I'm excited to be spending time with so many new friends on this podcast. Take a few seconds to think about how you're feeling right now. You might be happy, sad, frustrated, calm, or scared. Once you've thought of a word for how you're feeling, you can say it out loud or in your head, or tell someone you know when you're finished with this podcast. Now that we've learned about why this podcast is called Like You, let's listen to our theme song. I want you to pay attention to the words and see if you notice some of the things we talked about.
I was just like you, and I just like you. Others you know feel what you feel inside you. It's a very good day to just speak up and say, I like you. When you are laughing, when you feel lonely, try to remember that you're not the only one who feels like you. Others can like you, just as you are, just the way that you like you. It's a very good day to just speak up and say, I like you and her and him and me and them. I like you.
Now I'm going to ask you to repeat a few phrases after me. These are called affirmations. They're short sentences that help you feel good about yourself. Even after this podcast is over, you can think about these affirmations anytime you need something to cheer you up or give you some confidence. So here we go. Remember, you can say these out loud or in your own head. I'll say each sentence twice. The first time you can listen. The second time you can repeat it with me. I like me. I like me. Other people like me. other people like me. There is no one better to be than myself. There is no one better to be than myself. Every day, I will learn and grow. Every day, I will learn and grow. I am not alone in my feelings. I am not alone in my feelings. I am proud of myself. I am proud of myself. Now smile and take a few slow, deep breaths as we wind down our time together. I can't wait to spend some time together again soon. On the next episode, we're going to talk about relaxing head to toe. Until then, I like you, I'm proud of you, and I'm glad we're friends. Have a happy and peaceful day. Like You is written and produced by me, Noah Glenn. I also composed and performed the Like You theme music. Our podcast artwork was illustrated by Mia Saine, and this episode features additional music by Night Park and Kyle Preston. A quick word for the grown-ups. We could really use your support to keep this podcast going. Please consider becoming a patron by visiting patreon.com/likeyoupodcast. You can also help others find the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, and be sure to help us spread the word by telling your friends about the show. Learn more about us on our website, likeyoupodcast.com, and be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at LikeYouPod. While we make this podcast with kids in mind, our social media accounts are a great place for you parents to connect with us. Our social accounts are managed by me, along with my wife, Lindsay Glenn. So come say hello. Thanks for listening.